Can you describe the path that led you to starting And Vision, and can you provide a brief description of the objectives and the goals for And Vision?
For sure. So when we were in the heart of the pandemic, actually, one of our high school friends reached out to us, and he was telling us a little bit about how his sister is currently going through university applications. And he was talking about, what are the different business programs out there, and where can his sister, who has an interest in business, apply to? Because he had some knowledge, his own knowledge, we had some knowledge ourselves. But then we kind of thought back and reflected that, hey, when we were going through university, we also just had limited resources for where we could access information about the different schools. For Jacqueline, she knew a little bit about the University of Waterloo because of her peers, and for myself, I grew up here, so I had some idea about AFM. But we had completely different paths, but ended up at the same place. So that kind of led us to believe that there is a need for access to these sorts of information pieces early on, and that's where Envision was born. Really simply put, what our goal is to provide unbiased and timely information to students who are aspiring to be in business programs. Now, that has been sort of validated at the start with a dashboard that we created that provides information on all of the different business programs that are currently in Ontario at universities. So we created what we call the vision board, which has actually gotten some great reception. A lot of students have given us feedback and said, we actually had no idea that the University of Waterloo had computer science and business, and this is a great opportunity. Like, these are two interests that we have. So those types of conversations we've been able to have with students. And we've actually also launched a blog series called the Vision Blog, where we are creating posts that are relevant to the university application process. It's not just for university applications, but it's also what goes on afterwards. Funding university, what are some of the ways to get involved, and what are some of the other higher level opportunities out there as well. And where we see ourselves now, that's where we currently are, and where we see ourselves in the future is actually performing more outreach. So we've already started actually reaching out to high schools and tried to see what pain points that high schools have. So I had a chance to actually speak to my high school accounting teacher, which funny enough was also the high school accounting teacher of David Ha, who is now, I believe, the MAC. He's the MAC director. So fun fact for you. But I had a chance to connect with her just recently and spoke to her at length about, how is it that we can tailor our organization to help those students who are struggling to make decisions around the future of their careers. And we had great insights from that conversation, and we're really looking to put that into implementation moving forward. And maybe even later on coming up with some sort of a boot camp where we can bring in students and expose them to the different facets of business that business has to offer, and really just build that community of students, parents, and partners that we are hoping to get.
Excellent, thanks.